Okay, I'm back after making some changes to the stream. I think I can get the music back up now as well. Really sorry for all the problems in the stream today, guys. Not only was I late by half an hour, but yeah, lots of settings problems it looks like. So if you're interested in streaming as an artist, you do have to have a pretty good computer for that. I think I'll probably upgrade soon. I built my computer probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's getting a bit long in the tooth, let's say. I'm just kind of sitting here seeing if the connection stays excellent or not. Hopefully the quality of the stream is good, because I did adjust some things, so maybe the quality has gone down. Right, yeah, that will, thank you for showing up again, Thinker. That will teach me to sleep through my alarm, definitely. Awesome. But yeah, if you're interested in streaming, OBS is really kind of the way to go for it. I mean, it's where all the streaming kind of stuff goes. You need a nice computer with a nice GPU, a graphics card, in order to actually do it well. And I would suggest reading up on it. So I did actually just a quick search online about, fixing streams and the best stream settings, and I found a website called Web Around Gaming. A lot of people do gaming with streaming, and boy, they know the settings. So I made a few changes. I think there was one specific setting where I was outputting a resolution that was much higher than 1080p. So that could have been an issue. But all looks good now. I'll keep checking it as we go. Oh, say quality and sound both good so far. Okay, great. Great. As always, I appreciate you, Thinker. Okay. Back to it. Back to the grind. No, it's not a grind. Back to the enjoyment of actually painting. This is one thing that I'm always trying to balance, and I think most artists today are balancing. Not just daily life, and things that you have to do. Maybe have kids, getting the kids up, getting them ready for school, doing all that kind of stuff. Everything that kind of comes with life, and then it's like, how do you fit art within that? And honestly, the best solution that I've come up with is to first, lower your expectations a bit. We all have our own realities that change according to, what has changed with our life. Like, my friend Josh, a couple of years ago, he had a new baby, and it was like, welcome to a new life, welcome to a brand new reality. Yesterday you were a father of 2. Now that person is gone and has died, and you are now a father of 3. And honestly, if you kind of think about it that way, you get a bit closer to the reality of what you can and can't do on a daily basis. And you start adjusting your reality in accordance with that. So 10 years ago, I said, okay, I want to be doing art every single day for the rest of my life. But I knew at that point that it had been 5 years since I've done anything. And if I wanted to actually follow through with that statement, I needed to get practical with it. So I said, okay, what is the worst day that could possibly happen? And how can I go ahead and plan for that now? And the planning of that was basically, very simple. 30 minutes of art every single day. That's my minimum, and that's what I've been doing for 10 years straight. It's held up. Days when I haven't felt like it, days when I've been in the hospital, days when I've lost, loved ones. Art's been there for me every single day. So, yeah, do what we can. Do what you can, which is specific. Never compare what I'm doing, like how much I'm able to accomplish, with how much you're able to accomplish, or anyone. Because we all have completely different realities from each other. So my reality today was up late for a stream, slept through my alarm, and then having stream problems as we get on here. So definitely some challenges. That still looks a bit contrived over there. I really think that it needs something else to it. But we're going to move on for right now. Like I've said so many times before, this is why we do all that we're doing right now to prepare for a painting. And, I'm really slow at this. We're actually working this painting up tremendously, with a lot of detail digitally before going into an oil painting. But it's great. It's a good practice. I'll figure out everything that, I need to change and think about for the oil painting before I get into it, because it's easier to just digitally. And I'll have a good digital painting after I'm done. So win-win, really. As I'm pouring tea. Sorry about this, guys. What I want to do is open up the reference photo of the jungle on a different screen so I can see it a little bit larger. So I'm going to have that open on my other screen. Make sure I don't cover up the chat or my stream condition. Watching that as well. And then I'll open up down here. Okay, so working on this other palm frond. Palm frond number 2, we will call it. That's all I need to see is just basically the top of it. Oh, by the way, I actually looked at the Pure Ref. I downloaded, I purchased this thing called Pure Ref, months and months and months ago, because it was recommended by a lot of digital artists that worked for having your reference up as you work. And maybe I need to play with the settings or something, but it does not stay on top of every window for me. And that was the main reason why I wanted it, was, a reference that I can have over here, right? In this kind of blank space. But that is not working. If I could set a window to always be on top, actually I would do that with Image Glass, which is my image viewer that I have for Windows, which is really awesome. I could, maybe if it has settings for always on top. I am not sure. Yeah, I just quickly looked at the settings. I didn't see anything for always on top. That's okay. So these smaller, this one down here doesn't have as much curve to it as the top one. It's really interesting. It's like this flat blade of a palm frond with these leaves kind of hanging off the bottom of it. So first thing I'm doing is going over it with this kind of darker grayish green. to soften out a lot of these hard edges, make it a lot less cartoony. Working with a really small brush here. I can make this larger. But what's interesting about it is it's mostly all one light color. Let's try and go accurate with it to what I'm seeing in the image. I mean, how light is that? I think it's really light. Look how light that is when I pick from the image. I don't think I want to go that bright with it. That could adjust our composition too much. But the one thing I do see is there's this definite sometimes I pick out a color that's so perfectly matched to the background that I can't even see that I'm doing something. One thing I do see is there's a clear separation between like the spine and the other palm fronds. So I'm gonna throw this in like the whole way. We're always going to try and adjust the photograph that we're working from, or any reference that we're working from, to match the main purpose for the composition. So this may, in the reference look really bright, really high on the value scale. But if that distracts away from our focal point, we want to make an adjustment to it. So, bring that value scale down a little bit. Maybe it's the intensity of the color that's too high. Always want to keep thinking about the purpose for the painting, the original purpose, the original intent, the message, the story, the narrative, however you want to say it, the motive. I like motive. I pull that from The Art Spirit by Robert Henry. I've read that book several times. It's dated. It's very dated. Every pronoun is he, him, his. So there's some dating that goes on there. Not a lot of inclusion for women in that book at all. And I know that there's a majority of women out there, women artists, amazing works. But the concepts and the principles are good. The principles are, and the ideas really are really helpful in a lot of ways. I'm going to go with adding some of these highlights in. Try not to do it in too many places. Yeah, after backing up on it, I really felt that I could kind of group some of these values together a bit more than what I'm doing already. Need to just go a bit lighter with this and a bit cooler, or a bit darker with this and a bit cooler. Honestly, the main purpose for these palm fronds is to have elements in the background that enhance the overall composition slightly, but mainly don't detract away from it. That's the most important thing. So whatever I do back here with these palms, the most important thing is it doesn't detract away from our focal point. I need more texture in this. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I feel like I could have achieved what we're at right now a lot faster if I just photo bashed those palm fronds up here. You know, if I just cut them out exactly the way they are and just blended them in up here. Something about that just doesn't sit right with me. I'm not under a production schedule right now. I tell you what, if I was working with, working for some kind of design studio or movie studio or something, oh heck yeah, you best believe I would be using photo bashing techniques and whatever I could to get things done as fast as they needed. Because, at least that's what I hear about that industry all the time is everything is needed yesterday. Let's remove that reference so that I can see what's going on. Kind of backed up here a bit. Yeah, that's not too bad. I have to constantly think about perfection and how unnecessary it is Not only that, what a low bar perfection is. If you go for perfection, you're going for an impossibility, which you will never achieve. And so it's actually a very low bar to set for yourself. Hey, here's something you can set for yourself that you will never achieve: perfection. The best thing to go for is just doing your best and shipping as much as you can. Just remember, perfection is unachievable. I like how these palm fronds at the top here just really kind of go into this, like they blend into the background. Really dark color. Maybe some of it comes through. Okay, that helped it out a lot, putting that kind of the other side of that frond in. I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to remove that image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try with that last palm frond. Now my Google Drive decided to remove all of my pens here. Tiger painting. This is our image. So originally I'm looking at this area of palm fronds down here. So what if I just copy that whole thing? Let's go to palm 3, which is right here. And we're going to paste it right into that group. It's so tiny. I'm going to move it below the drawing I already have. And we're going to see what photo bashing would look like on this. See if it would translate well or if it would just look odd. Maybe it will add in a lot of coloration and variation. That would be helpful. Maybe variation more than anything. And I don't have a lot of experience with photo bashing. I haven't done it a lot. Yeah, let's keep it below my original. And I know there's a lot of tricks that you can do with this, but I don't know those tricks, so we're going to keep it simple. I'm simply going to be erasing these edges and parts of this image that doesn't make sense for where it's at. And as I look at it, I think, you know, for better size reference, that frond needs to be much larger. Put it as an angle and move it further down. Even larger. Yeah, like that. It's very blurry, but that's okay, because I don't plan on leaving it like this. I want to draw over it. Oop, need to turn that into an eraser. Out here, I'll press hard so I can erase everything completely. I got my brush turned to an eraser here, so I can do this. And then within here, I'll do it lightly in some places, keeping a lot of those background elements and just kind of blending them in a bit with the background that we already have. Like, look at it, look how real, and I mean, my eye goes directly there. So the first thing we want to do is a Control U on that, so we can adjust the coloration of this, because we need to take it into a more cooler green, just about there, and then pull that saturation way out of it. It's so important, I feel, to know the basics of color. Filter mask or just over the whole thing? I'm gonna do it over the whole thing. So why is it important to know the basics of color? Because when you're trying to tell a story, that it just helps tremendously. It's these other kind of elements that you can use, just like a filmmaker would, to tell a story. You don't have to know, you know, ultimate color theory either. What you need to know is just saturation. Well, value first, saturation, or chroma, and then hue. Hue is the easiest one, you know, it's just the name of the color. But really looking at all the values and things first and seeing, okay, do I need to make this lighter or darker so that it's more prominent or less prominent? And then do I need to saturate it more or less to bring more attention to it, or less attention to it? Kind of like you're just more directing within color. How much do I want the viewer to actually look at this? I'm actually going through now and I'm pulling out a lot of the spaces in between a lot of these palm fronds. basically I'm going to be using this image as kind of like an underlay for when I start painting over it here in a moment. Yeah, and as I'm looking at it, I'm not sure if this palm frond here really makes a lot of sense. Let me back up. Looking at the image, I will keep it there for right now. Maybe I'll pull it out. So let's insert a new layer. And I'm going to start working with the colors that we already used on the previous palm frond. And doing a lot of drawing over. It's almost like tracing, really. It's a bit different than that because I'm using the image, you know, some of the image. Like here, I'll draw these fronds out a bit more. I'll probably take the stream today as long as I feel like just drawing. I'd like to actually get this background done, this frond done, and then I feel like I could move on to the tiger at that point, although we do have the rock, which is part of the background as well. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of patience that goes into this. Maybe with anything that we do, right? A lot of patience to, you know, do the background first, or these other elements first, these secondary elements first, right? Get those figured out, and then work on the tiger after. It'd be so easy to just jump into the tiger, but then leave all the more boring things for last. And honestly, I think that's probably harder once you get into it, because you know you're hyped up because of this tiger, and then everything maybe you're putting in afterwards is not looking as good. So it could be very demotivating. So having that patience, I think, is important. I'll go back to the background of that image and start erasing more of it, more and more. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull this part of it out. This frond. Yeah. Now, the problem I see with this right away is now it's so different from the fronds that we've done before. That either I change this frond up, which is probably what's going to happen, or I redo the other ones with a photo bashing technique. But really the idea that I'm kind of just kicking around here is this faster? Yeah, I don't know. And how important is speed in a lot of ways, right? Especially in this setting. There is a ton of detail in here, which I'm glad that I am not having to do. As far as anything's concerned, like this technique where you're using a photo in this way is helpful with adding a lot of variation in texture and detail within whatever you're doing to kind of enhance it. But ultimately, I think there has to be a lot of decisions made within this while you're doing kind of a paint over. Okay, let's get into some of those highlight colors. Like right up in there. Actually, I feel like what is most helpful here is being able to quickly and easily see shapes of, you know, this really complex area. There's a ton of complexity within these palm fronds, and not having to, you know, try and observe this kind of abstract area and make some sense out of it is really helpful. But again, the problem I see with that is, you know, there's some learning that's involved within that translation that you're losing. So this is something I wouldn't do all the time, definitely. It could be detrimental to my long-term improvement as an artist, a digital artist. Well, as the digital part of my art creation goes, I really don't identify as a digital artist yet. You know how we always do, you know, us artists, we're always kind of thinking, I have to be at this kind of level in order before I can feel like I can identify as that. And I still fall into that trap a lot. I want to have a certain proficiency level for a lot of these things before I can say, oh yeah, I'm a digital artist. Right now, it's more, I do digital stuff and I know a bit. And normally what happens is there'll just be one day where you kind of wake up and you didn't make the decision yourself, but you realize, oh, I've been doing this for months or years. I'm definitely a digital artist, right? Or just an artist in general. That's a really good feeling. It's looking pretty good for kind of like all the darks that's in this. I still don't like a lot of some of these spaces that are showing through, the way that they're showing through. So I'm trying to erase a lot of that image in the background. It's very speckled. And when you look at the jungle, actually, there's a lot of speckles that happen. All these little tiny highlights that kind of show through everywhere. Okay, let's lighten up our brush even more. And that's not light enough. That's not light enough. Wow, really? Am I on the right layer? Okay, all right. Let's go up here to these light colors. Oh, I am on the wrong layer. Now it's there. It's almost too light. Oh well. Oops. Make sure I don't get too bright with this area. Yeah, that's looking really good. Thank you, Thinker. Yeah. Now, adding... That was really helpful, honestly. Because there's so much kind of detail and stuff in there. What if I turn that image off? I mean, it really helped out the drawing. If I look at the drawing and the detail just in what I have done, it looks pretty good. Maybe if I change the opacity even more, it brings it closer to, you know, what it looks like up there, and adds a lot of kind of interest in this background area. A couple things I want to try now. Let me save this. I'm going to look at my David Revoy brushes that I downloaded, and he just released not too long ago. So davidrevoy.com, I'm going to show you guys this. Let me pull it down. So this is his website. He does, you know, everything Krita. See suggestion above, RE reference images tool. Oh, I don't see that suggestion, Thinker. I think maybe type it again, because I'm not seeing it within the chat. If you go to brushes on his website, he just released in January this new brush set. And what I love about this is the brushes are good, but what's even better is how he goes through and gives you an idea of how they're used, and they're very organized. Erasers, basics, sketching, and they all have colorations to them. So this gold yellow area is for basics. The two blue ones here are for sketching. The red is for detail. This turquoise is for glazing. Brush texture is the green. Oops. And we got a smudge. So these white ones here and this purple one are for smudging. And that's what I wanted to see, because I want to try some smudging brushes down here. See what it looks like. To kind of see how it can adjust the transition of some of these colors to be a bit more smooth. And really just playing with brushes, you know? Which is, you know, a lot of fun digitally. Okay, let's try this rake one. Maybe make it a bit smaller. Try it up here. That's actually a really nice smudge for some textures. Especially that works well for these fronds, I think. Let me back it up. Okay, what about this guy? Thinker says, I'm able, using the reference images tool, to place the reference outside of the canvas so it is always visible. That pure ref tool, is that what you're talking about? Or is there a Docker that is for references? Because that would be amazing. Which tool are you talking about, Thinker? I'm sorry. items. Okay, undo history, touch Docker, task, simple story, specific color selector. Snapshot Docker? I have no idea what that is. There's a pen in the toolbar. So in Windows, in the toolbar, so down here, I mean, there's pen to taskbar, but that's not what you're talking about. Sorry, I wish I could talk to you directly. Make things a lot easier. Or maybe this pen in the toolbar. Reference image. Ooh. Okay. Add select an image to show options. Add reference image. Oh my god, this is so awesome. Paste reference images from system clipboard. Load reference image set. Export reference images set. All right, and delete all. Okay, let's add in Google Drive, projects, tiger painting. Oh, that's my Krita document. No, I want just the JPEG. Okay, where did it go? Oh, wow. You gotta be kidding me. Dude, that is so awesome. That is so good. That's exactly, and then when I can zoom in, and then, okay, how would I move it? Okay, I would have to be on that reference image tool. Is there okay, I don't have a hotkey for it, but I could move this guy around anywhere. Heck, if I wanted to, I could zoom way out and have all of my references just around in places, and then pull a new reference image over here, then zoom way back in. Oh, that is so good. Let's see the other settings on this. Paste reference images from system clipboard. Okay. Load reference image set. Export reference images set. Oh, you can make it a set. Okay, okay. We're going to play with this for right now. Don't worry, I'll come back to the painting in a moment. But what I want to do is add in some more reference images. So I know that we're using this image here for the body. Can we do multiple ones at once? No, one at a time. Okay, that's fine. So there's our body reference. I'm gonna keep it huge. Okay, and then this is for our old tiger reference, little tiny image. Another plus. Where's our original tiger head we were using? It would help if I change this to extra large icons. Maybe it's in here. Yeah, it's this one. Another small one. But that's okay because this reference tool is amazing. Oh my god, look at that. Okay. I'm gonna hit save on my document. Oh, it's taking forever to save. This document just got massive. Uh-oh. It's gonna be very hard to share this on Gumroad. The upload getting bigger and bigger. I'm waiting for some point for Gumroad to say, yeah, we said it was free, but yeah, I tell you what, not for you anymore. You have 200 terabytes that you're using up on our servers. Okay. Keep aspect ratio, which is good. Now let's see if we can save this set. Yeah, let's do it. By the way, when you're navigating, okay, I'm using a stylus. If you're using a stylus on Windows and you want to navigate around to places, it's so much easier. Instead of trying to double tap something, just to tap it once and hit enter. So much easier. So this is going to be Tiger Painting Reference Stack. I'm going to call it a stack. I like saying stack. All right, so if I go back to my brush tool. Oh, wow. That took some time to save. Interesting. All right, let's try this. I'm going to close this document. Okay. So I'm on, another document. Then I'm going to hit Control O. And we're actually, that's right, the document is actually not in this folder, but in, where am I saving them? I'm saving them to this folder where all the live stream things are. And it's probably getting so huge. And I'll be using up all of my space on Google. Oh, it's taking forever to open. Oh, all my references are there. Oh, Thinker. You rock, dude. That is so cool. All the references are look at this, guys. References are embedded into the images, into my document. Fantastic. Now, where the heck was I on this painting? Okay, that's right. We were playing around with these different smudge tools from David Revoy. And I'm liking them a lot. Oh, this is going to be a cool one. How does that? Boy, it really gets smooth when you work it. Maybe too smooth. I'm going to back that up. I like this rake one, especially for these palm fronds, because it adds some interest into it. Man, I'm just going to probably live with this entire brush set for a while and just do everything within it. Okay, so I can turn off the image that's on my other monitor. And yeah, I need to see what that palm frond looks like. So how do I move it? I'll probably go to the pen, select it, and then move it down over here. Zoom back in, hit B for my brush, and then I'm ready to rock. Yeah, this is the one that I need to work on because it's not set up right. I've kind of left it behind. That's a fun brush. Okay, then, because we're looking at this from down here. I think we're pretty good with this. I'm gonna clean up these. I'll go back to this guy. Turn it into an eraser. Ooh, what's back there? Oh, I need to erase whatever's back there as well. From my image, it's too light. I don't want that. I'm pretty happy with this. It's not so, what is the word I'm looking for here? It's not so fake looking. What's not, it doesn't match the image like before. It's not this kind of obvious photo bash technique. I'm trying out different brushes while I'm working here as well. I have no idea how long I've been on this stream. My back is not feeling good, so that's one indicator. I haven't moved around enough. That's always important, guys. Gotta keep moving. Yeah, just over an hour and 4 minutes, at least for this version of the stream. The first few minutes were a disaster. Let's do this. Let's go back to my reference tool. I wonder if we could do a keybind for it. What is R? R is nothing unless you hold it down. I have no idea what that icon is. Ooh. That's what that icon is. So if you, this is really cool. If you hold down R, you can select layers just by tapping. It kind of goes through and helps you find the layers. Oh wow, that's awesome. But if you tap R, it doesn't change anything. That would be kind of cool to just hit R for reference, and then it would go to my reference pen tool, reference images tool, and then let's see if we can do that. So settings, configure Krita, keyboard shortcuts, and it's called, you know, reference images tool. Oh, there's a show reference images. Paste a reference image, Control-Shift-R. That's cool. So reference images tool. Let's just hit R. And save. Or did it already save? Okay, B, R. B, R. And if I hold R, I can still do that. But what if I'm at B and I hold R? Oh, it will go to my reference image tool first and then the holding. So that could get confusing. Configure Krita again. Ref. So maybe... So B, and then maybe I want to select the tiger, so I would hit that. I'm on the tiger, but then I know that I'm not on my brush. That would be something to get used to. I don't really use the R for selecting images that much, so maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. Okay. What we are going to do when I hit R here is I'm going to move some of these references around. And we're going to bring up our original reference because it's got the rock in it. And I want to get into some of this rock. Oh, here's going to be a really interesting test. Could I select this rock? Copy. And paste. No, I think it's an empty selection. Yeah, there's nothing there. Oh, okay, darn. That's all right. What I'll have to do is I can close this one. Google. Projects, tiger painting. And remember, don't use Dreams Time. I'm going to continually bash them for, you know, their false advertising. It was really annoying. Free images. Yeah, sign up for your free images. Oh, yeah. Well, they're not that free. I mean, you still got these big watermarks. It's like, I'm sorry, when you say free images, you get 25 free images. I want 25 free images that don't have these stupid watermarks all over them. You know what people are wanting. Don't sit there and give me something completely different than what you know you're advertising. That's just bad business. Just kind of lining this up a little bit. Not going to use it for the most part. Going to bring that opacity way down. What I want to use out of it is the texture as much as we can, because it has the stupid watermark stuff all over it. So that's going to be the first thing I do, is switch to my brush. And this is going to be fun because we need to come up with brushes that have a lot of texture. Let's see if we just do a search for texture. Well, I mean, the David Revoy brushes come up on that one because he has all these textural brushes down here. So let's have some fun with this. Oh, that's going to be nice. Oh, the one thing I will do is I'm going to do a Control U on this rock and probably keep the same coloration. Just take down the saturation and bring the value down as well. And then I'm going to do Control L on it as well and see if I can bump up the contrast. It looks a bit better. And then insert a layer over top of it. And I'm going to start selecting from the rock It's very blue. I don't want it that blue. Well, it's in this blue area, but it's slammed up against the side there, so it's just basically gray. So we'll stay within the whole gray tone idea. Let me see if I... Oh, you can select from your reference images. That's fantastic. I want to move it over here to the warm side of things. Start with this very, even darker gray tone. And the first thing I want to put in is the shadow underneath the paw of the tiger. That texture is interesting. Not exactly what I want though. It's going to be a combination of different textures here, definitely. Let's see this guy. That might work the best. Let me zoom in. Why does that look purple? I mean, it's all gray, but it must be the relative, like what's next to it. It's looking really purple. Let's introduce some color into it. Oh, that's really interesting. Just really having a lot of fun with the texture on this rock right now. What if I go to my image and I turn this into a eraser? I wonder what that looks like. Probably needs to be smaller. Yeah. Let's get some lighter grays going on in here. Oops. It's interesting, there is some structure to, you know, the coloration that you see in here. Too blue. Working dark to light like I've done on a lot of these things. There's some oddness right here where it looks like actually I'm going to turn off that layer. Okay, that's with the image. I need to erase that. It looks like the tiger leg is embedded into the rock there. So I'm erasing this back part of the image with my texture brush. Okay, let's lighten it up a bit. Not that much. Let's go for maybe these lights. I'm looking at, I mean, there's a form within this rock. And I want to get the form within that rock correct. It's just like subtle texture difference. I need to make that a bit darker. Always fall back to observation, honestly. Thinker says, it might add to the drama if you put a shock of sunlight coming across the tiger when you get there. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, we have so much opportunity for what we're going to be doing with the tiger. It's just going to be, I have high hopes. Yeah, the textures there are a bit off. There's a subtlety that we have to kind of get within this. Because there are some, you know, it's too soft right now. There are some sharp edges and some soft edges everywhere in this. So I can use a textural brush, pick out like one of these darker colors, and get some harder edges in here. Maybe even harder. Let's go to... Let's try this one. Yeah, I like that one. Again, I'm saying this on stream multiple times because I'm really kind of reminding myself all the time is, Chris, why are you dealing with all this like minute detail? Well, I'm kind of arming myself for the oil painting, really figuring all this stuff out. Because I'll have to do this in the oil painting somehow, with whole different, tools. Honestly, I think it'll be easier in the oil painting, but that's probably because of, I have a lot more experience with the oil painting, but it could be really difficult. Like I get into it and I'm like, oh my God, this is This is tough. Let's go really light with some of this and not red. No, I don't like that brush as much. And then that one's a bit too soft. Getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley. I feel like I'm painting a constellation or something in these rocks. Or this rock here. Not these rocks. All the little textures and everything. Really, you know, I see that as probably the biggest advantage to photo bashing is the textures, really. Getting those really accurate textures to what life looks like. What nature looks like. So if you're dealing with nature in a lot of ways, which is what, everything, right? Well, no, I mean, if you're dealing with like buildings and stuff, well, maybe there'd be a lot of texture within that as well. So maybe everywhere. Okay. Let's look at that. It's looking pretty good. I need to make some adjustments, like some coloration adjustments, just slightly. And then I have to think about, you know, the purpose of this rock and the broader scheme of things, okay? Which is, you know, what is the function of this rock? You know, it's not that important. Its importance lies within, you know, just being there, but not being obtrusive. It's the ground that our major focal point is standing on, and that's it. So the main thing is it should not detract. It should kind of just sit there and be what it is without any notice. Okay. So what needs to happen with this is it needs to get darker. So I'm going to insert a new layer. We're going to turn on the, what do you call it? So the alpha inheritance layer. And just to make sure that it's doing what I want, I can just do that. And yeah, so it's just inheriting the layer below it. And what I'm going to do, let's work with the airbrush on this. That rock has some pretty good perseverance. Yes, it does. We need to show some perseverance within the rock. I mean, honestly, perseverance, I mean, that's rocks, mountains. They are really going to show it. So what I'm going to do is go too dark on this. just kind of hitting it, just lightly, just kind of pop in some really dark coloration there. I'm going to take it a little bit too far, and then we're going to look at the opacity change. Okay, that's good. And then I'll take my, or make my airbrush a bit smaller, turn it into an eraser by hitting E, and then I'm going to pull out some lighter areas on the top up here. Like little highlights that have been hit. Here's what I'd like to see. Oh, there's no button here for showing and hiding reference images. But I remember if you go to settings, configure Krita, if I type in ref, show reference images. It's under menu view. So view. Oh, here it is. So we can uncheck it. And just look at the tiger by himself. Or by themselves. All right, guys. We're there. We are definitely there. I'm really happy with this so far. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm really happy with this. I mean, even getting to this point, I have learned so much as an artist, as a digital artist. This brings up a point that I want to make within art. And I guess I could sum it up with one statement. Always, okay, I'm trying to think of my words here. I want this to be impactful. Always tend toward action. Always, always, always tend toward action. What do I mean by that? There's a time and place for study. There's a time and place for reading books, for looking at techniques, for watching YouTube videos, for learning about the programs, about the materials you have, and everything like that. But what I think is even more impactful on your art career, on improving, is to start with what you love and get to making that. So if you're looking at ArtStation, if you're looking at traditional art, if you're looking at whatever you're looking at, and you're like, I want to make that, begin with your idea of whatever that is. For example, I want to make beautiful paintings like Albert Bierstadt, you know, these epic landscape paintings, right? Unless you sleep through your alarm. Yeah. Tend towards action unless you're asleep. Yeah. But if the example is, if you want to make awesome like Bierstadt like paintings or whatever artist you like, right? Start with an idea of, yeah, I love this landscape, but I want to change it in this way. I want to add a figure. I want to do a couple things with it. And then just get started on it. And then as you're working, the work itself will tell you where you need to go and what you need to learn. So you have this goal. Like our goal here was to take this idea of perseverance, our story, where tigers are successful 4% of the time, yet they keep going. They continue to persevere. They keep trying. They never give up. All of these ideas. And we wanted to show that within an image. So we worked it up with, and I could, definitely we were helping on the stream, because if you look at the resource downloads, you'll get into the that design process that we went through, the compositional process we went through, and you can work that document, definitely. But through that, you'll think, oh, wow, I need to learn a little bit more about composition, about value, about color, about photo bashing, about the tools that I'm using. How can I get some kind of reference thing going on? That was huge today. I've never really done photo bashing before, but today I played with it and had fun with it. And I'm like, wow, that's really useful in these aspects. Will I use it all the time? Probably not, but it's another tool. And the goal of creating this perseverance, this image that shows perseverance, has led me to all of these things that I needed to learn. Just all the different tools, the different brushes that I had to kind of pull up and work with to get the textures that I want. Get the look that I'm going for. I've increased my ability to observe reference images, to use reference images, to even paint digitally whatsoever. So always tend toward action, and action toward your dreams, towards your goals. Create those goals and make progress on them, and it will tell you where to go. Yeah. It's like, you can, and this isn't just about art, honestly. And I'm kind of, waxing poetically here, but this isn't just about art. This is about everything in your life, honestly. So I had to do a lot of learning on YouTube, because I'm like, wow, I really want to do live streaming. Okay, gonna learn OBS, gonna learn how you live stream, make a bunch of mistakes, and then learn from that, and then continue on. I want to improve my health. You learn about sleep and exercise and eating right, but tend towards that action. There is a tendency, and I know there's a few artists I'm thinking of right now, and if you're watching this, you probably know who you are, that are constantly in a student mode. Always looking for the next technique, the next tutorial, the next thing to learn. And that's not bad. I think we should always constantly work to learn and to improve. But you have to fit in things that you love and what you want to work on as well. And that's so important. Learn the best way to draw, but do that while you're working on whatever you love to draw or want to draw. Dragons, anime, manga, movies, whatever. But have this idea of a picture or something that you want to create. It's a balance between your learning and what you love to do. What you love to do will push you into the learning that you need to get in order to make that happen. Yeah. Okay, I'm done with my spiel. I'm off my soapbox, stepping down. Look at this, guys. I can go to view. I can go show reference images. You don't need any pure ref, any alternate programs or anything. Krita is amazing. And it's freaking free. I can't believe it's free. I would suggest go to krita.org if you download Krita, and if you like it a lot, donate to them, because the developers that make Krita work really hard on this, and they've made an amazing program, and they're not getting paid for it. They do it because they love it. I've donated to them twice now, $25 each time, because man, this is worth it. I'm paying like $10 a month for Photoshop and Lightroom, which it has its uses, but most of what Krita does, I'm like, wow, I wish I had this. Well, I don't wish. It's like, well, it's far and above what Photoshop does. There's a couple things Photoshop does superior, but from how Krita's growing for digital painters and everything, it's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. Yeah. Thinker says, and if you find yourself procrastinating, reduce the size of your immediate goal 1/2 hour of art instead of 3 hours a day. Yes. Oh, I have a whole video that I'm going to be doing on that, Thinker. It's all about my last 10 years of art every single day. Today is day 3,660. 3,660 days in a row of at least half an hour of something every single day. And the video is going to be about probably the top 5 or 10 things that I've learned within the 10 years. Yeah. Just, you know, things that I keep going back to constantly that have changed my life for the better and have really made me into the artist that I am today. Yeah. I can't wait to get into this tiger. But here's what I want to do real quick. If I even quickly like add in some of these brighter colors, these kind of oranges in some places, right? Just kind of play around, lighten this up. And then I know right above here, there's going to be some whites. Let's just throw it in really quickly. Have some fun with this. The mane is going to be like this kind of white color. Oh, geez. Just selecting from a reference. I'm not even worried about, you know, making up my own colors on this one. Bringing in some intensity. Oh, I select the darker color there. I mean, right away, it's like the jungle just went away. I mean, I haven't even had added in any of the like the black that's going to be part of this. So if I like go just really dirty, just quickly throw in some of these black shapes, like just stupid quick. Like I am not going to keep this. This is going to be deleted right away. I'm just so excited because we've worked this tiger up so well, or at least the background and everything so well, that to make sure that this tiger just pops out. I mean, that's going to be fantastic. I can get into these really light colors in places on this tiger. Look at the range that we have. Just selecting from this guy down here, our reference image, because they're on screen all the time now. Yeah, the jungle just kind of... Oh yeah, I think you're still... Yeah, I need to be out too. Thanks for showing up, Thinker. I appreciate it. Can't wait for tomorrow. Look for the stream scheduled tomorrow. And yeah, thanks everyone. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you, hear you, or at least watch your text tomorrow.